Welcome everyone to the June 29th, 2023 Helm Developer Call. We've got our notes, where should I put them? Our agenda for today, which is a little light, but that's good. We'll get through it quick. Maybe. I'm going to drop the notes into chat here for folks. And today, we don't have any announcements. Does anyone have any announcements? Anything we need to share? Okay, I'll take that as nothing. Then we have three discussion topics here. The first two are from George. George, do you want to start it off?
Sure. Maybe they're not quite in order, but when I was making this PR to the docs, which is the second item, I started thinking that Helm has a three-way merge, which I think this was unique to Helm, if I understand the history correctly, before, and then Kube Control implemented its own version of three-way merge. And then I think things evolved on the Kubernetes side, and server-side apply would be the best way for multiple actors, whatever you want to call them, to update a given resource in Kubernetes. And I think this is the problem that the three-way merge is trying to solve. So I guess my overall question is Helm considered switching to to server-side apply versus using its three-way merge process? And is my understanding correct? Which should be the premise for this thought.
Yeah. So the reason we haven't made changes to some of this is within Helm 3, it needs to be an opt-in, right? Because otherwise you're changing. And we've been open to it, but nobody's written something that's an opt-in to do that. And we've talked about doing three-way merge on custom resources, because right now it only does them on known core objects. And that's really because when Kubernetes launched it and Helm integrated it, it only did it on core objects. You couldn't use it on custom resources. Then they added it to custom resources. But it would be a backwards breaking change, right? So that's why we need a flag in order to do this. And so we're totally open to doing that as long as it's opt-in.
Okay. So the whole idea makes sense, I guess, would be the fundamental takeaway here.
Yeah, it makes sense. And that's the reason we have it, is we didn't want to break backwards compatibility. Eventually, if we onboard some more full maintainers who've got time to work on it, these are the kinds of things that once you've got so many that are flags, which should be the default, that's a good enough reason to do a Helm 4 that just makes those defaults, does some internal cleanups, because we've got a number of deprecated functions, and even release a Helm 4 that's kind of a natural progression, but is more breaking in that way. But that's still quite a ways off because we need to onboard maintainers first, some more maintainers.
Makes sense. Would it be worth trying to put this as a HIP? I can't see myself having time to not necessarily do implementation, but I could think about writing like a HIP, which would at least cement the and
that makes sense.
Find a way to contribute that way.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, the next one is just a docs PR to document join triage. It's kind of it comes up a lot, like people don't really understand how Helm updates things, and there's a section in the FAQ describing how Helm 2 changed to three-way merge in Helm 3, but that's not actually anywhere in the docs. So this PR is just mostly lifting and shifting from the FAQ.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that, and I think is this the one you brought up a couple of weeks ago too?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got that list of ones open and I've been working through them, and so that one's on my list to review as well, and so I'll get on it as well. But I've been working through those other ones you got a couple of weeks ago, with the exception of taking a break for working on the import values stuff, which now I'm just waiting on some reviews. So I'll be going to take a look at that.
Cool. Yeah, let me know if you need any second eyes. I assume you want second eyes on your big PR, but if there's anything else, then let me know.
No, we just need to get some folks reviewing some of this. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problems.
Karen, maintainer track CFP.
This is sort of an announcement in retrospect, but just that, yeah, we have the maintainer track session up for grabs for KubeCon North America, which will be in Chicago in November, probably October. So the due date is gonna be July 16th, so we have, about 2 weeks or so. Do you have a rough idea of who's going as of right now? Oh, it is November, okay. Oh, okay, that's great, okay, that's more than we had for Europe, I think. Are any of you interested in taking on the maintainer track session?
So last week I proposed that
Oh,
George be one of the people.
cool, yeah.
If he's up for it. Matt, what do you think? I mean, I'm happy to help out again, but I wanted to make sure like new people.
How about this? George, you look like you're not sure. Do you want to talk offline about it and we can talk about it and I can even help you with it and see whether you're actually interested in it?
Sure. Yeah. Well, what I'm not sure about exactly what the content would be, but I'm interested in being involved. So
Okay.
maybe that's best offline, as you say.
Okay, yeah, we can chat because you look unsure. We're trying to give you a chance. You look unsure. I will ping you in the background and we'll set up some time to talk and then I can try to answer your questions, any of that stuff for you. Sound good?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Matt, do you have the link and everything? Like, it's just through Session Night, so if you did any.
Yeah, I've got the link and everything open. I went and I checked and I've got the announcement to us. So
Okay, great, okay. Karina is asking to be included on that as well. Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
You wait, do you want to be included in the session or in the conversation that I have with
I
George?
mean, the conversation, I'm happy to be included
Okay.
in the session, but the conversation, just
Okay, yeah.
last few feedback and kind of ideas and
Okay.
stuff.
Do y'all want me to create a like HackMD or something so you can have a collaborative doc? I can like pull all the questions from the.
First, this is like getting ahead of ourselves.
That's
George
true.
hasn't said I want to do it yet. So let me sit
Oh.
down with him and talk to him about questions and talking
Okay.
about it before
We
we
can come
pile
back
on
to
board and
this
say, hey,
next week."
George, here's this pile of stuff. You want to, we don't want to overwhelm it. So
Okay,
I'll grab time with him. We'll talk it out and then I'll circle back. Sound good?
yep,
Great.
okay.
All right. Karina, you have one on here called Helm Video.
Well, I was in another meeting and somebody mentioned that the graduated projects are all given an opportunity to have a 1-minute video that's played. And so I was
Where
wondering what that was about and whether Helm,
did they say where? It was just, it's played somewhere?
I thought it was like during like the keynote, like during the graduated projects or something. I just want to make sure that we didn't miss an opportunity to try to.
I think, I'll have to double check, but yeah, sometimes they'll do a thing where they like ask for project updates. I think Matt can probably speak more about that, right?
Yeah. So in the past, when they've done this, they don't do all of the projects. They'll grab some of the graduated and some of the incubating projects and give them a chance to sometimes do a video or have a member of the project come speak live on stage about it. That's normally organized a little bit later. I have not heard anything about it this time, but that doesn't mean it's not already started and some projects contacted. We can ask and find out what's going on with that. I just have no idea.
I just found it. There's a link for it, and we're I mean, it's due August 10th. So that vote has not gone past
Okay,
us. I don't know, like, should we like talk quickly about some ideas for what it could be, or yeah, I'm trying to find if there's any guidelines. I think that link I sent basically has all the information we need, though. It's in the notes. And we can come back to this next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing that. August 10th sounds like a long time away, but for a video.
Well, is that when the videos due or when we have to decide?
You're right. That is when the video is due.
Well, you have to cut a
Oh.
video in order to be considered. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, like the forum asks for the video up, like file itself.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, maybe we should talk offline about that and then also join back up.
Yeah. And see what we would even say. But we can do that next week. Yeah, because to shooting the video, it's less than a minute video, coming up with the content, coming up with something that's less than 60 seconds to put in there. That's pretty straightforward, hopefully. They're not giving you much time.
It also looks
Okay.
like, yeah, you can submit a slide deck. So I assume they'll just play the slide deck and your video at the same time on the screen during the keynote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks for tracking that down, Karen.
Thanks for bringing it up, Karina. I did forget about that. So cool.
Karina, and you even have the next item here, which is automate updating the release notes. What do you mean by that one? Which release notes?
So I just found the PR again, or the issue actually. I put it in the notes and I'll drop it here too. Into chat.
Thank you.
So somebody mentioned that, because every time you cut a new release, and I'm assuming that this is what they're talking about, but every time you cut a new release, you also have to go back in and manually update all the version numbers. Because in the past, I've, reviewed those pull requests. So
Yeah, I forgot it this time in the version skew. He's right. Yeah, that would be nice to have that automated. Somebody want to go automate that?
that's why I asked him. I was like, so, or her, he or she.
I think that's a great idea for somebody to go automate that.
Right.
Nice make command would be wonderful.
Just thinking, it's up there in the README. Since I'm here, I'll give it a go. I can volunteer.
Okay. Oh, you don't need to volunteer. I was being I was having fun with my words there. You don't have to feel obligated to volunteer. If you feel like it, go ahead. No one will complain, but don't feel obligated.
Yeah, I was thinking it's kind of a pain to automate README updates because you end up templating the whole README, and
Yeah,
then someone edits the README because they don't know about the templating. Then the changes get lost in the template, and
yeah. So don't feel obligated. This is not one of the things I would put as a high priority. We just need to do a pull request to update the version skew on it, and then put it as a to-do to automate someday in the future, maybe.
And I will throw out there that, helping update the release notes manually, that's something I could always help with. Like if, when you're cutting your release or whatever. So if you think you might miss
Yeah.
out.
And part of that is when you do it, you also have to export the documentation from Helm. So you run certain Helm commands while you're inside of the docs repo or pointing it to the docs repo, and it actually generates all of the documentation inside of Helm and exports it. And you've got to make sure you don't screw something up. Like depending on the system, it might actually mess with the path to certain variables. So you need to set some environment variables first, then run the commands. And there's some funkiness there just to make sure the docs come out right. And if you've installed any plugins in that environment, it totally screws things up. It's all kinds of wonderful enjoy to make sure. So it's not always so straightforward to do.
So you're saying that your environment is set up perfectly?
No, I've got find and replace to fix my problems, and I've got that set. It's not. I have to go back and go, oh, I screwed up. Okay. No, but this is a good one to throw in there if somebody wants to. It's not an easy one, but they're right about it. All right. We don't have anything else. Is there anything else folks want to discuss? All right, let's talk assignments for next week. Moderator, notes, all the goodies.
can do triage and PR review.
Okay.
I think I can moderate. I should be here next week. I'll do it.
Okay.
I can do notes. I'm pretty sure I'll be here too.
Cool.
If we have a couple minutes, we could throw out some ideas on video. If there project updates that you think are important for people to know. Like the only thing I can think of is the OCI work.
But I think that's already been talked about because that's
Yeah.
these days it's the work we've been focusing on lately is bug cleanups, or some of it, yeah, bugs. Some of the big things we've done lately are things like memory leaks and things like that have been discovered because we made some changes a while ago to deal with context canceling. And while it looked great in the beginning, we are now seeing there were some memory leaks introduced there. And so there's been work around that to try to clean up how we went a little bit more asynchronous around that. Then there has been, bug fix work. And even cleanup, the cleanup has been around OCI. So there's some OCI cleanup work happening because there's some edge cases there that never got solved initially, and they're being cleaned up now because we're doing more and more OCI stuff. And so a lot of it's more internal cleanups. So there's no big wow announcement. It's kind of in the maintain and cut at it a little mode.
I mean, I still think that's a good update. They see, graduated projects that at a certain point you can't keep doing a lot of new features, and it's important to do things like memory cleanup and memory leak cleanup. And there might be people out there that didn't realize that all the memory leaks they're dealing with if they just upgraded to a new version.
Maybe, and maybe they're not even seeing the memory leaks because you don't always get them, or we would have caught them sooner.
That's true. That's really true. I guess I'm saying don't discount all the hard work that you've been doing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
All right. Well, if there is nothing else, we can call it a day with 7 minutes to spare. All right, folks.
Nothing for me. Awesome. Thank you.
Well,
Have a good day.
Online.
Thanks
Thanks.
all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.